Hi guys, Blake here with Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on beautiful Upper Lake Taneycomo. It is Thursday the 17th, I believe, of September, and this is the one cast. Today I've boated up here. I'm right across from Fall Creek at the moment, just at the very end of the regular area and the beginning of the trophy area. They have ran no water all last night, and they just now turned on the water. It's just a little bit after 4. They turned it on at 4. It's just now kind of starting to reach this part of the lake. They're turning on one unit. Oh, nothing officially on the one cast. They're turning on one unit right now, and then here in about an hour they're going to turn on 2 units and run 2 units for another 2 hours, and then they're going to turn the water back off again. Today I am fishing a 1/50th ounce jig and a peach miracle fly. For those of you who do not know what a miracle fly is, it's basically just a little round piece of fuzz tied on a 1/100th ounce jig head. I'll give you a look at it here. And I went fishing yesterday morning and we were actually catching some fish on that. So I figured I'd come up here and try it again. I'm gonna have to do a little moving of the boat today. I'm on the new boat that we built. Some people are taking to calling it the Trout Machine. But I got on here and I got up here and I realized that I do not have the remote control for the trolling motor, or the foot pedal for that matter. So I'm gonna have to kind of keep going back and forth here. There's quite a bit of wind out here right now. And the 50th ounce jig that I have on the bottom is a 1/50th ounce sculpin with a brown head, which I did pretty well yesterday with the little sculpin jig under a float. Oh, that might have been a hit. I think I need to take, I've got that 50th ounce jig on here plus that miracle fly, and it's got a jig head on it too. So I'm going to take my little piece of split shot off of here. I don't think I need that anymore. Alright. But the wind, you know, without the trolling motor, the wind's actually blowing pretty strong right now, so I'm probably going to have to do a lot of recasting, which doesn't help with the drift. It'd be better if I could use the trolling motor to keep the boat going the same speed. Fishing reports for today. Most of the reports I've heard were slow. I believe Bill Babbler was using the pink power worm and night crawlers today, along with a few other guides. They were all using the same equipment. Bill told me that the micro jig worked for a while. And didn't have too many fishermen fishing from the dock today that I could tell. Had quite a few boats go out today. It's a beautiful day on Taneycomo. Actually, all of our bass boats were running today, so I decided to take the new pontoon out. Something I've noticed that you can do even when the water's running with these, when you're throwing a you know, little mini marabou, is that you can give that quite a bit of action. Kind of shakes that, you know, the tail feathers on the jig, and sometimes it entices them to bite. And I've only got this set at about 6 foot right now. The water's really not much deeper than that at the moment. as the one unit comes up to full capacity, it'll get a little bit deeper here. Wind is really pushing today here, but I have to say I think that with the water being off again, that night crawlers filled with air still the go-to bait if you're looking to catch the numbers of trout. Yesterday Al and I, we tried a variety of things, including this miracle fly and the jigs and mega worm. We caught a few on a white mega worm, and that was with a little more than a half unit running, so the mega worm's still working pretty good. Some people call that a mop fly. There's plenty of chop on the water today, I can tell you that. The wind's been blowing pretty good. I've got 6X tippet tied on for both of these flies for my leader material. There's a fishy. It's kind of hard to tell. Those waves are blowing so hard, it was hard to tell if I was getting bites or if it was just the wind. And it looks like he took the sculpin jig. I was actually up here two nights ago during the evening, the last bit of light. And right here in front of these docks on my fly rod, I caught a 21-inch rainbow, probably weighed about 4 pounds. A lot of fun. Haha, I got him to swim right into the net. Nice pretty little stalker rainbow. So it looks like my 6-foot depth is doing pretty good for now. Water will get a little deeper once we get down around the bend, if we ever get there. The way this wind's blowing, I don't know if I'll ever get there. Okay. Went fishing last night, wading up at the dam. The fishing was pretty good. I think between the 4 of us, we caught, well, definitely over 50. And that was on the Signature Series jerk baits and on streamers, stripping streamers on fly rod. I caught some moss there. Yeah, these are definitely conditions where the trolling motor is almost essential, unless you want to do a lot of running around the boat or a lot of circles in the water. I wish I would have checked before I left. Oh boy, there we go. casting into the wind right now. Like I said, I've been doing pretty good along these docks over here on the opposite side from Fall Creek Marina. So I'm trying to keep the boat floating along the front of those. Quite a bit of trash in the water right now. The trees are starting to begin to drop their dead leaves, so we got a little bit of leaf clutter up top here. And then with the one unit turning on, it's starting to push the moss that's been floating, starting to push that. Oh, there was a fish. Ow, missed him. Starting to push that moss through too, so probably be dealing with a bit of trash on the line here. Now I'm fishing this side of the boat specifically right now because if I were to fish the other side, the boat getting blown by the wind would actually cause the indicator to keep catching up to the edge of the boat. So here I'm letting it float all the way out to the end of my line, and then I'm pulling it back a couple feet and I'm letting it drift back, and that's kind of giving it its own unique action, as well as keeping it away from me. It's a lot harder to control whenever it's floating into me than versus away from me. Oh, I was looking at something underneath the water there. It looks like somebody lost an anchor, and my bobber went completely under the water. It still amazes me that it really seems like those fish know whenever we're looking away. I don't understand it, but it happens too many times to be a coincidence. There is all kinds of crazy stuff floating in the water right now. A lot of this stuff that's in the water right now gets dried up on the banks, and when they turn that water on and the water rises up over the bank, it takes all that dried grass and weeds with it. I'm going to have to move the boat again. We're coming up on Dino's dock here, and out in front of his dock there is a large root wad, and I do not want to get the boat caught on it. think that's good enough. We'll find out. If you guys hear a loud crunch and I go flying out of the boat, you'll know I hit it. So right past Dino's dock, there's kind of a big flat, and it actually shallows up a bit until you get around the corner to the boat ramp. Once you get past that boat ramp, it drops off again, but around this inside bend, it does shallow up, and if you get too close to that inside edge and you're not paying attention, it's pretty easy to hit your prop. But I think I timed it about perfectly today. If you can get out on the water right before they turn it on and wait for that water to just barely start moving, that first 15-20 minutes of the water moving generally gets the fish a touch more active. Oh, I missed another one. I imagine that throwing a pink power worm right now with the water just starting to run underneath an indicator like I'm doing with this would be pretty good. Scoot the boat forward again. I kind of want to be right on that seam line that comes off of his dock. However, this here is the only problem with fishing when the water turns on. There's just so much stuff in the water. I'll tell you something about these miracle flies. If you ever been to Bennett Springs, they call them glow balls down there. They're a pretty effective trout bait. I don't think they get talked about a whole lot down here. However, you kind of want to trim if you buy them, you know, if you tie them yourself, you can you know, trim them the way you want them. But if you buy them, then you want to take a pair of sharp scissors and just kind of trim around the hook. Sometimes that fuzz, whenever they tie them on there, gets too close to the hook and it kind of prevents good hook sets. So if you just take a pair of scissors and just trim right around where the hook is, you can increase your hook set. I honestly don't know if this one's trimmed or not. I think this is one I bought when I was fishing at Bennett Springs one time. This same thing I'm doing right now, you could have a mega worm on the bottom and a sandwan worm up top, or a scud on the bottom and a miracle fly on top. There's all kinds of combinations you could try. I'm a popular guy today. Yeah, usually when they kick the water on at first, I see a few fish jumping, but I have not seen any surfacing. Oh, that might have been a hit. I do, anytime I actually get this miracle fly out and use it, I usually do pretty good with the peach colored one. I know some guys out here and guides, they'll use the orange. They kind of imitate, you know, trout eggs a little bit. It's actually getting pretty shallow in front of me now. I'm gonna decrease my length underneath the bobber. So ideally, I want that bottom fly just kind of hovering right above the bottom. And we're on that inside corner now that I was describing. So it's really only about 4 foot deep out there. So in order to get that to hang right, I just kind of take about 1.5 foot out of the line there. The other thing I could do would be switch sides of the boat and fish the deeper channel behind me. But I'm trying to hit that spot kind of right where the drop off is. We'll go for a couple more minutes and then we'll call it a day. Almost broke another set of fly line there. Right now I'm kind of speeding the process up here with this wind blowing, drifting pretty slow. I kind of want to fish right here in front of the boat ramp where that water starts to get a little deeper again. Oh, caught a leaf. Okay. The water is so shallow over here by the boat ramp that these guys actually have their truck pulled down on the lake, usually where there's water. Well, based on the traffic that I've seen today on the lake, I would say that this weekend is going to be a busy weekend on the lake. I think the weather forecast is looking awfully good. Got a little canoe boat with a center console drive going by. That's interesting. Well, I was kind of hoping to get some action on the Miracle Fly like I did yesterday. Just kind of show that it works, and it's always an option out here. Usually anytime I put that little miracle fly on, I usually at least catch a couple fish on it. And I've had days where I've done really good on it. So just another option if you're out here and you're not finding anything of the normal stuff that's working, try a miracle fly. But I think that's all the time I got for today, guys. So we thank you for watching. Like and share us on Facebook, and we'll do it again tomorrow.